Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN.
Sorry.
Just making sure
Well, be quiet there, Magari.
Congratulations,
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Got you? We good?
Yeah. Shut that door, Magari. Please.
Got to make sure the settings are right.
I said please. Yeah. I did say please. I'm sorry.
Darren, fucking hell, you went to war tonight.
Yeah.
Come out with a decision you must be over the moon.
Do you know what, mate? I am. Look, I knew I was always going to win the fight. I knew I was always going to win the fight. You know, he's not as good as me, but at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, if I wasn't a tough bastard like I am and I can fight like I can, he could have took the win there because of how hard he is, mate. He's hard as nails, isn't he? Hard man. There's no harder fight than him. There's no harder fight. So look, he brought it. He tried to hunt me down, you know, even when I was sitting in the ropes, I was whacking him with shots and he was just looking at me. But I'm happy I got the win. I'm happy it was a good fight. I got paid, man. I got paid.
That's what it's about. Did you think you'd be
steak for dinner tomorrow, kid? None of that beans and toast tomorrow. We've been struggling.
No one watching this believes you was eating beans and toast.
No, I wasn't eating beans and toast. It's caviar and arrows every night.
Did you think it would be an early night though, after that first?
Mate, I tell you, everyone who comes to this gym with me manager and everything like that, like, they know Lee's sending sparring partners down, proper pros, and they're going away going, wow. Mate, I hit like a truck. And I come across what Joseph and Declan have been teaching me to come across, like, whack that left over, and he fell back, like, he fell onto it. I thought, oh, fucking hell, first round, yes, get it, you know, go home. Got up, I looked at him, was hitting him again, and I thought I had him out in the first, and he just stayed. But it was like as the rounds went on, he just got stronger and stronger, and I was just a bit like, I was a bit demoralised. I was like, what more do I have to do to you, mate, to get you out of here? And then obviously in the last, I just whacked him, mate, and I thought that was lights out, and he crumbles back up again. Fair fucking play. Well, I'd love to know what he's eating, mate. I'll tell you, like, tell me that. I'd love to know what he's eating, Darren. Come on.
Is there anything that he surprised you with? I guess you knew that it'd be probably hard.
Just an hard bastard. Yeah. Just an hard bastard. Look, us MMA fighters, people have got a misconception about boxing and MMA. Like, boxing is a harder sport to fight for. You have 12 rounds of constant head trauma. There's no rest in MMA. People are a bit misconstrued. Like, when I'm an MMA fighter and people ask me, and people think my initial answer is going to be, oh, MMA is not the harder sport to fight for, because you have rests in between. You can't throw elbows constantly. Boxing is much more traumatic over the years to fight for. You see these boxers at 32, 35, and the brain damage, because it's 12 rounds of constant trauma to the head. So, you know, that's that. But he's just a UFC animal, just strong, just coming forward, getting stronger as the rounds going on. As I said, I'd love to know what he's eating.
I just spoke to him. Do you know what he said to me?
Go on.
I'd love to do a Misfits tag team, you and him on the same team. against both of the pool boys.
I'd have him with me for anyone, mate. I wouldn't want to fight him on the street, trust me. If he comes out on the street, you're having a long night, mate, trust me. So, yeah. He was grunting at me when I was hitting him. He was grunting. You know what I'm saying?
I will say...
Here's a ham and parcel, how are you, son?
Do you know what his name is, by the way?
Parsons.
All right, I was just wondering if you actually thought he was called. I've been enjoying the thought that you think he's actually called Parsons. You said in the ring afterwards, you said, we might have taught a lot of people on Misfits a lesson tonight, that you don't have to jump over tables and fly over people, throw tables at each other. You can respect each other, be honourable, and put on probably the best fight Misfits has seen.
It's not like that. Even in the gym, you know, I'm with my coaches, and our gym's full of pro fighters, and you know, you go in and you've got your banter and stuff like that. But then when it's time to train, you know, it is a respectful sport, and everyone who's around me, my friends and my coaches, know. They know I'm a bit of a learner, what I'll have out, but they know I've got a huge amount of respect for my peers, my coaches, and my opponents. You know, all this is, sometimes it is real. You know, people say, oh, it's all for the camera. Yeah, a majority of the time, but then sometimes it's not. Like, sometimes it is on, but you know, we showed the level of it doesn't always have to be about disrespecting your opponent to have a war. Like, you know, like, it's all like, oh, fun and games. And even my coach said to me, you know, just before, he's like, Darren, you know, it's time for violence. But that doesn't mean I hate the guy, but it's time for violence, mate. You know, I'm trying to knock his head clean off, and he's trying to do the same.
Yeah, well, violence is one thing we definitely saw tonight. What do you think KSI is thinking, sitting ringside watching that up close?
He doesn't want to fight me, mate. Come on, he knows Darren Stewart already. He doesn't want to fight me, and that's okay. That's okay.
You're happy to not even call him out on that?
Look,
you know that...
Look, I've said it. This is a good gig for me. This is a good gig for me. I'm making money. But I ain't going to stand here and beg for fights. I ain't going to stand here and beg for Jake Paul. I ain't going to stand here and beg for KSI. If the fights happen, I'll campaign for the fight. But you will never see me beg for these fights. I will not lose my pride or morals over shit like this.
Well, they'd be hard to come by, though. If you put in performances like that, a lot of people in this scene might go...
Every fight I have now, there's less and less people going to be taking it. Only the hard bastards are going to take my fight. My coaches know that. They've even said it, Darren. You know, you're going to have to start looking a bit shit. Because they're going to start. I'm going to get back in the gym straight away now. I'm going to keep working my craft with my coaches. I'm going to get better and better and better and better and better. And that's all I want to do. I'm in my prime. I'm solid. I feel fucking phenomenal. I've had an 8-week camp. Well, the 16-week camp, but I've had an 8-week camp of me eating, me training. Everything's been perfecto.
Well, we won't use these as call-outs then, but I'll just put 3 names to you, 3 that I would want to see and 3 that people out there I know would love to see. Jake Paul, Mike Perry, Cole Froch.
Okay, again, Jake Paul's the biggest money fight, and I think after that Mike Perry's the second biggest. So you would initially think I would call it Jake Paul out, but no, I want to fight Mike Perry. That's the 8 year in the making. Mike Perry, Lee. Mike Perry.
Mike Perry, Masvidal, any of them.
Okay, Mike Perry and Masvidal, that's what we're going for, yeah. So there you go. I don't think Jake's a reality this year, but we've got years, mate. I'm in my prime. I'm fresh-faced. I feel good. I'm here. It's baby steps for me with everyone. So that's it.
You expected him to wipe out Chavez? No.
I was meant to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. They knew I was gonna. We were training phenomenal for that. I'm better now than I was then. I think Chavez probably should win the fight, but I'm not gonna count Jake Paul out. He can fucking punch, and he's a unit. We all know he's on some type of chocolate steak or something like that. Is it? What's he on? You tell me. What is Jake Paul on?
I ain't privy to what Jake Paul's on.
Rice pudding. Is eating normal food.
Beans on toast.
He's beans on toast. No, we know. Come on. He's a unit. He can fight. He can whack. But you know, Chavez should win the fight.
Well, I know Ty Mitchell called out Cole Froch tonight. I don't think that's a possibility. Is you and Cole Froch ever a possibility?
Again, look, Carl Froch is going to see this, and he's gonna have a lot to say about me.
He fucking loves it though. He'll love it. He'll love seeing this and
this
seeing
is the thing,
talk about a fight.
I don't want to get come across. I want to be a realist always in everything. Carl Froch is a fucking phenomenal fighter. He was one of the best British fighters we've ever produced, and he can take a shot and he can give a shot. But that doesn't change the fact I'll fight him and I'll beat him.
Darren, top man, really appreciate your time. Just a final message to the fans out there.
Thank you very much.
Would have enjoyed watching that
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you very much for supporting me. Look, whether you love me or hate me, look, I'm always here to give on a performance, and that's it, isn't it? That's all I can do, mate. You know what I mean? Nice one, son.
Top man.
Yes, man.
Thank you, Darren. Cheers, mate.